Hello students, this is continuous lecture to the previous video where we discussed about purpose of normalization and data redundancy and update anomalies. It means what are the problems we may face while updating the data in the table with data redundancy. We have three types of anomalies, that is three types of problems with that table, that is insertion anomalies, deletion anomalies, modification anomalies. Insertion anomalies means problems facing while inserting data into that table. Deletion anomalies means problems facing while deleting the data from that table. Modification anomalies means problems facing while updating the data in the table. About insertion anomaly, we have seen example in the previous lecture. That is, if we try to insert a new staff at the branch B007 in this table. This is the example table we have taken, staff branch with redundant data. So if I try to insert new staff details at B007, all the data, all the staff details which is inserting should be with the correct data which we are going to insert at branch B007. Otherwise, it leads to inconsistency problems. That is called one example for insertion anomaly. Problems facing while inserting data into this table with redundant data. But in contrast, we don't suffer this insertion anomaly problem in these both separate staff and branch tables, as we have staff details separate and branch details separately. We can insert appropriate data into the table individually. No chance to get any inconsistency in these two tables. So, next problem is deletion anomalies. If we delete a tuple or row from the staff branch relation, the details about that branch and staff member details are also lost from the database. For example, if we delete the tuple or row for staff number SA9 from the staff branch table, the details relating to the branch number B007 are lost from the database. But these two tables avoids this problem because branch tuples are stored separately from staff tuples, and only the branch number relates the two relations, that is two tables. If we delete the tuple for the staff number SA9 from the staff table, the details on branch number B007 remain unaffected in the branch relation. Next, the third one is modification anomalies. If we want to change the value of one of the attributes of a particular branch in the staff branch relation, for example, the address for branch number B003, we must update the tuples of all staff located at that branch. We must update the tuples of all staff located at that branch. If this modification is not carried out on all the appropriate tuples of the staff branch relation, the database will become inconsistent. So I am going to change the address of B003. So I need to change all the B003 tuples address wherever we have in this table. Otherwise, a modification anomaly may occur. That means inconsistency may occur. Finally, we can say that we can avoid these anomalies by decomposing, means dividing the original table staff branch into staff and branch relations separately. But while dividing the large table or relation with decomposition, there are two important properties to be remembered. One is the lossless join property, means this is the original relation staff branch combined can be identified without loss, that is without losing any data from corresponding smaller relations. It means if I try to join these staff and branch relations, this staff branch relation, that original relation should be recreated without any loss of data. So that is one point we should remember while dividing a table into the different tables. Even if you combine all the smaller tables or relations, the original relation should identify without any loss. That is the point we should remember. The second important property to be remembered while decomposing the larger relation is the dependency preservation property, means that a constraint or restriction on the original relation can be maintained by each of the smaller relations also. So whatever the constraints we have on the original table, this large table, that can be maintained on these two individual smaller tables also. That is, all the key constraints like primary key or foreign key or any constraint on the original table can be maintained by decomposed tables, that is by the smaller relations also. So these are the 2 points we have to remember while dividing this redundant table into smaller relations. Next, functional dependencies. So it is an important concept in the normalization technique, which tells and describes the relationship between attributes in a relation. For example, if A and B are the attributes or field names of relation R, B is functionally dependent on A. Functionally dependent on A, denoted as like this. Attribute A shows arrow towards attribute B. If each value of A is associated with exactly one value of B, it means if we know the value of A, if we know the value of this attribute A, we find the value of B at any moment of time. The dependency between attributes A and B can be represented diagrammatically as shown like this figure. You can see this relationship between A and B. Here B is functionally dependent on attribute A. B attribute value depending on A attribute's value. We can also say that A functionally determines B. Then what is determined? What is determinant? This A is called as a determinant. So A functionally determines B. What is determinant? It refers to the attribute or group of attributes on the left hand side of the arrow of a functional dependency. Here this is called as functional dependency. That means it shows the relationship between attributes. where the left hand side attribute is A attribute. So A is called, attribute A is called as determinant of B. That means it determines B value. Now see an example of a functional dependency. Consider the attributes staff number and position of the staff relation. So in staff table, there are two attributes we have, staff number and position. For a specific staff number, for example SL21, we can determine the position of that member of staff as manager. In other words, staff number functionally determines position as shown in this figure. But opposite to this is not true. Opposite to this is not true. That is, if we know staff number attribute value, we can know position. If we know staff number value, we can know position value. But the opposite to this is not true. That is, position does not functionally determine staff number. A member of staff holds one position. However, there may be several members of staff with the same position or job role. A member of staff holds only one position. However, there may be several members of staff with the same position or job role. So, the relationship between staff number and position is staff number and position. The relationship between staff number and position is always 1 to 1. One staff member holds one position only. For each staff member, there is only one position. On the other hand, the relationship between position and staff number is 1 to many. There are several staff members associated with a given position. So in this example, staff number is the determinant of this functional dependency. In this functional dependency, staff number is the determinant. That means so we have 1 to 1 relationship in between staff number and position. So staff number determines position. So staff number is called as determinant. Let us see about full or partial functional dependency. Consider the following functional dependency that exists in the staff relation, like staff number, S name on the left hand side, called determinants, and branch number is dependent. And it is correct to say that each value of staff number, S name is associated with a single value of branch number. However, it is not a full functional dependency because branch number is also functionally dependent on a subset of staff number, S name, namely staff number. In other words, this functional dependency is an example of a partial functional dependency. That is, if some attributes from left hand side like S name has removed, even then the right hand side attribute branch number value can also be determined by knowing the staff number attribute value itself. So this is called as partial functional dependency. Even then the S name has removed, the branch number value can be identity